teeth in Lennox. It's crazy. And I walk by this little girl next to Cup Foods, and I see her sitting there. She got a little cup out, relaxing, chilling. You know, so I drop a couple quarters in there, because everybody goes through hard times, right? And then I stop and look back, and I notice that I know this girl. I know this girl from high school. I stop like, my sister. My sister, is that you? She looks up all sad. She's like, Jordan? Jordan Nehemiah Harper, is that you? I'm like, my sister, yes it is me. How are you doing? What is going on with you? She said, shh, man, you don't even know. She lights up the blow. And so now I'm looking at her because I remember her from high school. I remember when she used to wear high school. I remember when she used to wear high heels every day. I remember when she used to come fresh to death and all the dudes would look at her like, when? Who is that? So I'm tripping, bugging out my eyes like, my sister. What is going on with you in your life? She takes another puff in the L. She said, man, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm doing all right. So I'm sitting there scratching my head. I take a seat next to the curb. I'm like, my sister, talk with me, walk with me. Let me know what's going on with you in your life. She said, man, after I had the baby, things got difficult. So I'm thinking like, wow, she did get pregnant. So I'm like, okay, how's your baby and child doing? She said, man, I don't know. I gave it up for adoption. So I'm sitting there like, no, my sister, this cannot be. And so then she proceeds to tell herself more about me. And so I'm thinking like, what are you telling me about me? I know me. I mean, I know who I am. Do you know who you are? She said, you're talking in circles, Harp. So I'm sitting there just like, okay, my sister, let me break it down for you. Something like a fraction. And she's like, okay, I'm listening. I said, my sister, why are you in these rags? She said, man, I'm cracked out, strained out, and I don't know what to do with myself. I'm like, what you mean you don't know what to do with yourself, my sister? And she's like, man, Harp, you was always talking about this, that, and the third. And I was like, yes, I always talk about this, that, and the third, because my sister, do you not realize who you are? Yeah, you probably about to tell me that I was a star. Yes, my sister, my queen, you were a star. And the reason why I call you a queen is because you were. All my African sisters were queens. And so I was sitting there trying not to tear up, because I'm sitting here with, she's got needles in her arms, holes. And so I'm sitting there like, oh my Lord, my sister, what is going on with you? I ain't even trying to talk to you. Go somewhere else, preacher man. I'm like, that's right, I will be your preacher man for this evening. My sister, don't you realize we came from Africa? Yes, we were raped. Yes, we were slaves. But that doesn't mean we have to stay in that mentality. My sister, you were talented. You could sing, you could act, you could rap, you could dance. My sister, what is going on with you? I told you before, I ain't trying to talk to you. And so I'm sitting here with tears rolling down my face and tears rolling down my eyes, because I'm thinking like, good Lord, how could her life be like this? My God, what happened to her? She said, you want to know what happened to me? And I said, yes, please tell me what happened to you. She's like, I had sex with this dude, I had sex with that dude. And I'm thinking like, my sister, why are you having sex with these dudes? No man should ever come to you in that form of manner, that type of disrespect. My sister, don't you know, you are the one that delivers them checks. You are the one that helps take care of the household when the man is away. And you are the one that is truly being paid.
Right.
She said, you ain't saying nothing to me, man. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not saying nothing to you? I'm trying to speak knowledge to you. I'm like, could you please put that out? She's like, oh, wait, you don't like the smoke that's coming out of my mouth? I said, no. So I'm sitting there still going in my brain, going over this, like, okay, I remember from high school, she was a 3-sport athlete. She did volleyball, she did soccer, and then she did softball. And I'm thinking like, okay, God, I know my life wasn't necessarily right, but what happened to hers? Because when I left high school, she was doing better than me. I'm thinking to myself, man, she was supposed to be like the next Angelina Jolie. We're going to be honest about it. And so I'm sitting there thinking like, my God, my sister, don't you realize who you are? Don't you realize that, yes, and I say it again, you are indeed a star. Don't you realize, my sister, that you had gorgeous curves that you could never give any man unless he had to put in the time and work for it? Well, I'll be putting in work, all right, every night. And so I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, my sister, I know you're not out there prostituting yourself and giving away all your goods to some random dude that does not deserve it. It pays the bills and I do what I gotta do. No, you do not do what you gotta do. The issue is, that's the mentality of females and males in African American society today. We all are divided. Everybody's sitting around talking about, I gotta get mine, I gotta get mine, you better get yours. No, everybody should be pulling together to take care of them chores. Everybody should be on one accord. You ain't saying nothing, George. So I'm sitting there. My eyes are bloodshot red because more tears are rolling down my face. Because now I'm not sad, I'm distressed. And I'm thinking like, my Lord, dear Jesus Christ, how can I help her? And I'm thinking like, my sister, you need to come with me. My sister, I'm going to bring you to a church that'll set you free. My sister, I'm going to get you back on the right track. She keeps on puffing that crack. So I stand up and I look at her in her rags and I'm like, my sister, yes, I'm sad. I'm hurt by what you have become. I know life was hard for you, and I know life was hard for me, because we grew up in the same neighborhood. I know what some of them guys did to you, and I know half the things they said about you in high school weren't necessarily true. They weren't true about me either, but I did not stay that way. So she sits up here and looks at me and gives me one of them evil, sick, twisted, demonic faces. So I'm sitting out there like, my sister, I guess I just go and leave now. I start walking down the street. She says, hey, come back. So I run back to her all excited, thinking that, you know, she want to talk some more. And she said, man, you got a couple more quarters? So I take the wallet out of my pocket, and I dump more quarters. But then something tells me to sit back down, because there's no way I can walk away from a sister that once used to look that good with that type of frown. And I'm thinking like, my sister, I love you, and don't you know God loves you too? She's like, you always talking that church stuff. How do I know it's true? So I told her to come and see. I told her to come follow me. She ain't got to take my word for it. She still ain't saying nothing to me, man. So I'm sitting there, quietly, patiently, just kind of looking at her. She goes over her life some more. And she tells me what she's basically doing now is being a whore. She's wearing skimpy clothes, and she's attracting all the wrong kind of guys, and she doesn't know if her baby's even dead or alive, and her baby father beats her anytime he sees her. And I'm sitting to myself thinking like, wow, it's not okay with me. So y'all gotta understand something. Situations like these happen and occur every day. And that's why I get excited when we all come with one accord and we do single things like these every single day. And so I'm sitting there thinking to myself, looking at the sister like, my sister, my Nubian princess, my brown princess / queen sister. Don't you know you could be anything you want to be? She said, I ain't got no more choices. All them choices are gone for me.